Hi guys. I know I'm a bit early, but I'm seeing you guys chatting with each other, and I just wanted to join in. So this is kind of like just for you, early people here. We will officially start the stream in 7 minutes, but I really wanted to say hi to all of you guys who are here early. So. Hey Andrew, I know you, Michael, Ariana, Emily, Melanie, Jacob, Oriana, let's see, Alonzo, hello, I know you, Blue Diamonds, welcome back. Let's see, did I say hello to Jacob? Maybe? Hello Jacob, hello Rodrigo. Hey Pink Kitty, welcome back. How are you doing? Macha Monkichi, what's up, let's see, who else is here? Christopher, hello. Lewis, today has been the worst. I'm so sorry. I hope hanging out with us might brighten up your day a bit. Let's see, Julian, hello. Hey Claire. Joanna early is like 500 times better than late Joanna. So I actually got everything like prepared way earlier than expected. So I'm quite pleased. Now I changed the title of this last minute because my man made me. Basically, it's like a frappuccino, but as you can see, it has completely separated already. But it's okay. It's okay. It's really good. It's actually instant coffee from. It's like an instant Colombian coffee, I think, from Trader Joe's with sugar, almond milk, and I think that's it. And it's really good. So. In case you guys are wondering, he just blended it all together in our little like ninja bullet thing. So unfortunately, when you drink this, you don't really get like, I really have to like mix this around like vigorously to get some of that foam. Okay guys, I need to get like a chopstick or something to do this. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back with my chopstick. An attempt at Dalgona. No, this is not supposed to be Dalgona. This is supposed to be instant frap. So it's actually blended ice too. I forgot to say that. It's blended ice. So we have made Dalgona coffee and it has been fantastic, but we've just been kind of experimenting because we do find Dalgona coffee to be extremely strong. So we kind of want, we like the strong, but maybe not that strong, so we're playing around with it and trying to see if we can make sort of like a fast frap at home. Okay, this is working. Just have to keep doing this. It is so good, Alonzo. This is so good. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Hey Lee. Spoon work. Okay, fine. Does the spoon work better? I don't have a long spoon. That's what we're lacking in our kitchen. We're lacking those like really long spoons, So, I'm doing this right now. My ninja hubs. Hey Matthew. Hey Jonas. Hello. Are we keeping the same moderators? Yes. We're just keeping the same moderators for now. Hey Amir, how are you doing? It should be earlier in the evening for you today, right? I am streaming after this too on Twitch. So I will be doing like a legit practice session, but I figured today would be really nice to just have like a really relaxed time with you guys. As you know, for those of you who have tuned into these live streams a lot, you may notice I've changed the angle a little bit. It's just to catch the natural light more so that I don't have to use my studio lights in this like crazy hot weather. It's been really warm here. So and us Seattleites have no idea what to do with the heat. So we're here, you know. But yeah, more people are filing in right now. This is great. 4:27 a.m. in Hong Kong. Yes, it is. Wow, thank you so much, Lee, for, you know, for joining us. That's fantastic. I think that's better. Though I might give up on this chopstick very soon. So I think I'm giving up on it. Watch me do this. Very, you know, very couth thing I'm about to do. Okay. Put the coffee away from the flute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pop this in the sink. Hello, I'm back. Is it 1:30 yet? It's not 1:30 yet. We're still in the early crowd right now. We got a lot of people in the early crowd here. 42 people in the early crowd. I love it. I know, so classy, right? Thank you, Natasha. Rodrigo, hailing from Portugal. Lovely. Kuro E6. Kuro, I guess. Hello, welcome. How are you doing? Atsusuno. Hello. How are you doing? Kure Sora? I know a little bit of hiragana and katakana. Let's see. Judith, the company that makes your favorite protein shake is going out of business and that is not okay. Oh no, I'm sorry, man. I know the pain because so there are a few things that I have really loved coming out of Trader Joe's, but I like some of them have just like left and never come back. For example, the coffee chocolate batons, chocolate coffee batons. I forgot what they're called. Coffee batons, I think. It's been so long that I've forgotten what they're called, but they're like wafer rolls with like a coffee chocolate cream in it or something like that. It was so good, and then they took it off the shelves. The only ones that are left are chocolate and vanilla. I'm so sad that the coffee ones aren't there anymore. Man, I used to eat way too many of those though, like legit. Honestly though, that would have been the perfect thing to eat with this. Oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, it is 1:31. Okay, the live stream is now officially starting. Welcome everyone. How are y'all doing today? Okay, so we gotta lay down some ground rules for how this live stream works for the people who are new to the chat. So the chat here is really there for you guys to chat with each other and also for me to chat with you. Obviously, I'm having a drink right now and not playing the flute right at this moment. So I will be chatting with you guys for this first bit until I finish my drink. And then, you know, I want this space to be chatting. So if you spam the chat, you will be removed. As you can see, I have a few moderators in here who have so graciously volunteered to be mods. So if you repeat questions, you'll be removed. If you repeat the same thing over and over, you will be removed, okay? I want you guys to treat this chat as if you are actually in an IRL conversation with people, okay? We are all real people here. If you start spamming the same thing over and over, people are not gonna wanna talk, and that's not what I want here, okay? Now, the other reason for that is because when I am sight reading music, I am literally reading something else, so I cannot also read the chat at the same time. Okay, so while I am sight reading, I really want you guys to just be able to chat, have fun with each other. You guys can joke around, etc. You know what I mean? Like, just as if you're at a coffee shop, you know, like having a fun time with your friends while you're listening to someone, you know, butcher a concerto on the side, right? So that's kind of like what I want this to be. Okay, so those are the rules for the chat. Okay, now if you want to submit a request for me to sight read, please use the form down below. Now I go through that list very, very slowly. Okay, and who knows, maybe a bunch of other people may have also requested your request. Okay, so you might hear your request sooner because maybe someone else also requested it. But I have noticed that sight reading requests, especially when it comes to classical music, takes a really long time because classical music songs are so freaking long. Okay, some of them are some of them are really short, so they might be just 3 to 5 minutes, but most of them I notice it takes me like 15, 20, 25 minutes to go through. Sometimes you guys, you know, ask me to do things that actually require a bit of practicing, so it turns into a practice session. So it's just like, because of the nature of this type of music, it takes a long time to get through the sight reading requests. So I hope that you guys understand that. But yeah, that's it. So have fun. Okay, let's see. Well, like I'm holding a drink right now, so I just want to know if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask, preferably music related or food related. Music and food is kind of the two things that I like talking about. Video games too, if you want to. I did just start Super Mario RPG, finally. You know, 25 years too late, but you know, better late than never. Very good game, by the way. Cute music. Love it. So, do I play pop songs on the flute? Nadia is asking. Nadia, welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy what you're seeing here. I do. But my ear is really bad, so I really prefer if people send me like sheet music that you have found online for specific pop songs, because I really like having the sheet music, and then what I can do is listen to the song, and because I have sort of an outline of generally what it's supposed to be, it's easier for me to follow the actual song, right? So it's just me being a musician with a bad ear. That's me. Yeah. Lee, how do you be good at the flute? Well, Lee, I'm gonna give you the answer that every musician gives you. You just have to practice. There's no magic to it, man. There's no magic. Never too late for Super Mario RPG. I've gotten 3 star pieces now, if that means anything to any of you. So I've gotten 3 already. I'm basically getting an average of 1 star piece per evening. So I might beat the game really soon. How did I find out I wanted to be a teacher? Oh, that's a very interesting question. So, I actually technically have been teaching my friends since I was about 13. So, like, they didn't pay me for lessons because really I just saw it as us hanging out and then me teaching them stuff on the flute. And so, in my like wind symphony in my orchestra, like my youth orchestra, made friends with, you know, some other flutists, and they were kind of like asking me how I was doing stuff. So then I remember there was one time I just straight up invited one of them over to my house, and we sat together like how you would sit with your teacher. And like I even had the 2 chairs out with the 1 shared music stand, and I just basically straight up gave her a lesson on like how to do certain things throughout. And then like I think it was my mom was like, I mean, you do just realize you gave a flute lesson, right? And I was like, oh, I did? Right? Like I didn't even think of it that way, because I thought of it more as like, oh, we're just like hanging out and I'm like helping my friend with music. So that kind of made me think about the possibility of like, oh, like maybe I can, maybe one idea is to become a teacher. And then fast forward to when I was 17, I gave basically a self-made high school graduation recital. It was basically a random recital I put on at my church to celebrate me graduating from high school. I know. Why would you do that to celebrate, right? Give yourself more work to celebrate. So, but I did that. There was a kid who showed up in the church to that recital, and they really liked the sound of actually no, it was not the kid. It was, I think that was a different kid that heard me play. But there was the one of the church pianists was there. He heard me play and he's like, hey, one of my piano students really wants to learn the flute. Do you want to teach her? And I was like, okay. So that became my first student, my first like paid student. Like I actually got paid to teach this student. So I kind of fell in love with teaching there. And then it sort of evolved in the next few years into like I started teaching a couple more students, but not that many, until I got a job at my local Long and McQuaid because I was in Canada at that time. So I taught in a Long and McQuaid from when I was 19. Every Saturday was my working day, was the day that I was teaching. And so I built up a studio there, and I just really fell in love with teaching. And I just knew that this would be a really sustainable way for me to make a living, because not only is it good money, it was very fulfilling to me. Like I get so much energy from teaching. Like I feel energized after teaching. I don't feel like drained, right? So like that's why now I can teach like 6 hours in a day and I'll feel tired, but I won't feel drained. Like there's that difference, right? You're I'm a Knuckle from Twitch. Thank you for letting me know. That's so kind of you. Like I'm glad that you know that that I really like to be able to connect who's on Twitch and who's on YouTube. Yeah. So, but there you go. It was sort of a slow process to realize that I wanted to become a teacher. It wasn't sort of like I wake up one day and have this dream. It was sort of like a slow realization that one, it was something I was good at, and two, that it actually fulfilled me and gave me energy, right? So, yeah. Was the Long McQuaid in BC? Yes, because I lived in BC, in British Columbia, Canada. Yeah. So, okay, someone was asking, by the way, if you guys want to push your question like right up in my face, you can do super chat if you would like, and that would also help me out a bunch too, as a tip. But that's totally up to you guys. I'm not saying that you guys have to, but if you guys really wanted to push your questions so that I really do see it, that's one way to do it. So that musicianist, that's a really cute username, by the way. Welcome to the stream. What are my thoughts on the 301 Sankyo? I don't know, because if I tried it, I can't remember, or I have not tried it. I've tried so many flutes now that they all kind of blend together in my memory. I'm being completely honest with you guys here, okay? I am not a machine that can just like remember how every flute plays. So I'm sorry. But I do remember like the ones that stick out in my memory, right? So for example, it's either one that matches me really well, like this one, or is one that didn't match me very well. Those are the ones that I tend to kind of remember, because I remember my experience of like trying to morph my mouth into like, you know, something that works better for that instrument. So like if I have tried the Sankyo, I probably liked it. But yeah, I can't get the foam. I do need like some sort of spoon or something, which maybe I'll do that later. But you know, I'm curious about the 301 Sankyo. Let's look. So if we go to, all right. What are we looking at here? Sterling silver hand cut head joint, sterling silver body. So silver throughout with silver plated mechanism. Cool. Pinned mechanism. So that will make the mechanism a little bit on the lighter side. Instead of pinless, because pinless mechanism, even though it's smoother, requires more parts to make it happen. So pinned mechanism will make it so that the mechanism is a little bit more on the lighter side. Drawn tone holes, French open hole, pointed key arms, gold springs, Sankyo pads. Looks like you can do standard or heavy wall tubing. Very cool. So for, I guess for people who want a flute with a little bit more resistance, you have the option of making this heavy wall. Equals 442, B foot joint, handmade in Japan. Yeah. So what do they say about the cuts here? So I think you were asking between like the RT and the FT, right? But it looks like there's 3 cuts in total. There's an RT, ST, and FT. So the RT is what? Modified version of the original Sankyo wave style lip plate design. So a wave style lip plate design kind of helps you focus your airstream down, like for you. That's kind of, at least in my experience, that's how I feel what it does to your airstream. It's pretty cool. Characterized by a full, dark, strong tone with impressive clarity and secure response. The RT cut provides the freedom to achieve a very solid, powerful sound with an endless capacity for the airstream. Almost sounds like it would be pretty free blowing. That would be my interpretation from this. Let's see. The ST cut features a rich variety of tone colors, warmth, and expression. Depth of sound is exceptional, allowing for spin and projection with smooth fluidity. Again, it sounds pretty free blowing. FT cut, known for its balanced resonance, providing consistency between the registers. FT cut is responsive and reliable with crisp and clean articulation. So I'm going to guess that the FT cut is probably so you can probably get away with, like, it is, if it's known for a crisp and clean articulation, I think typically that means that, like, this is me guessing, okay? Don't quote me, but my guess is that you can, like, play more in the front of your mouth, so your tongue can be more in the front. Typically that's you get that really crisp sound when your tongue is further forward. So could be, my guess, I'm gonna straight up guess that the FT cut is probably more forward playing. RT cut is probably pretty darn free blowing. ST cut might be more back playing, because if they're talking about allowing for spin and projection and stuff like that, when you are playing with a higher air speed, like a higher air pressure, it's easier to control the shape of that, you know, the shape of the airstream, like to control that by blowing, like starting the, like the feeling of blowing into your flute. You can start it in different points of your mouth, right? So if you start that feeling further back, it's easier to control the shape of it. It doesn't spread as much. If you're just going like from the front of your mouth, it just spreads everywhere immediately. Whereas if you start from further back, you can control it more. So like just from the description itself, that's what I'm guessing is happening. But then again, you don't know until you try. So I could be completely wrong, is what I'm saying. Okay, I might be completely wrong, but you know, you wanted my thoughts. Those are my guesses. I'm just straight up guessing based on the description and based on my experience. But I could be completely wrong on these. Okay, so just putting it out there. All right. Yeah. Pedro, no need to be sorry that you're late. Absolutely no need. Hey, Neko. What is heavy wall? So heavy wall is we're talking about how thick the tube is. So the standard thickness is 0.016 inch. Is it 0.0? No, not 0.0. Yeah, it is 0.0. So 0.016 inch is the standard thickness of the tube. So if you get 0.018 inch, that is thicker and it is deemed heavy wall. Like literally the wall is heavier. A thin wall is 0.014 inch. And the platinum that I tried last week was what I called a hyper thin wall. It was 0.012 inch. And yet it was still so incredibly heavy because it's platinum. Yeah. So. League of Star Guardians. Hello and welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. How kind of you to ask. Thank you. Judith, now you want to hear me read a description, guess how the flute will play, and then try the flute and see how close I got? That would make for some fun content, wouldn't it? Maybe the next thing I should do is ask for a 301 Sankyo. Do you guys think I should do that? Because I can do that. I can ask straight up for a Sankyo with the 3 different cuts and see if I was right. I can see if I was right. That would be pretty interesting. That would make for a very interesting content, because I can cut, like, you know, like I can do a little clip of today's stream to kind of show what I thought might be happening. Okay, Amir, let me look at what you were asking. Oh, Amir, you've been sick? That's unfortunate. I'm looking for the @just another flutist, by the way. So if you had another question, oh, is that why you weren't on Twitch yesterday? Okay, that's what you wanted to tell me. I'm so sorry that you were ill, but you're feeling better now. Interesting. So Natasha is saying it's interesting how precise the mechanism is on a higher level flute compared to new beginner flutes. That's interesting, because I actually haven't taken apart a flute myself. I mean, I'm being completely honest with you guys. I was thinking it'd be really fun content in the future to do that, actually, to just straight up buy a cheap flute and take it apart in front of you guys. I was thinking that would be a hilarious stream, or maybe a couple of streams. We don't know how long it's going to take me, right? How about the patron Discord server? What about the patron Discord server? I mean, you're a patron, Lee. It's there. I hope you've dropped in. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. So I hope you can join the patron Discord. It is linked through Patreon. So you can absolutely do that. And are you asking how long I've played the flute? Since I was 8, and I'm 30. So a long time. Let's see. Definitely request. You would like that, musicianist? It might be interesting content to see how close I get to my my guess of how they play. Oh man. Oh good, I'm glad you're feeling a lot better, Amir. Thoughts on drawing the line between interpretation and expression, Andrew is asking, and losing the composer's intention. Okay. Hey Jade, welcome. Thank you. I hope you continue to enjoy what you see here. Hey Caleb. Okay. Good question, Andrew. So here's what I think. Okay. You do need to, I think there's a lot of things to keep in mind, right? You either can go the purist route, which is, you know, good to do too, actually, just for homework, you know, look into the types of instruments used at the time, look at these stylistically what you're doing at the time, how things were played at the time, historically what's going on around that time, blah 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 blah. Kind of like where in the composer's life is this happening? Is this like in the early part of their composition years? Is it in the later part of their composition years? I think it's good to do your homework on that, and then you can make your own informed choices on what you do with interpretation. I am of the opinion that if you make an interpretive choice, but it is not backed up by, like, you know, you doing your homework to figure out if something, like, if it would have made sense, if this is something that the composer could have meant, right? Like, if you don't have something backing that up, then I have a problem with it, right? But if you make an interpretive choice and you're like, well, I made this choice because at this time, maybe, for example, I'm just throwing out a random thing out there, because a lot of people will say this about like Mozart concertos or like Baroque pieces and stuff like that, right? They'll say, okay, the instrument at that time could only play in a certain way, right? Well, we have a much more powerful instrument now. So you can tell from how the music is written that maybe Bach or maybe Mozart would have liked it to sound a certain way, right? And so they had to write it in a certain way to kind of pull off what they were envisioning, you know, to happen musically, right? But it's like, now we have a much more powerful instrument that can easily pull off what they would have liked. Therefore, let's play it a little bit differently, but in a way that maybe they would like if they were alive today, right? So that is one interpretation where I feel like, okay, you did your homework, right? You did your homework, you know what's happening, you know historically what's happening, and it's like, you think that based on if they were alive now, how would they have liked something to sound? And then you are playing it in that way. Cool. Okay. Now, if you didn't know any of that, okay, and then you just went in and said, I think that I should do a bunch of rubato here because to me it sounds better, I have a problem with that, because I'm like, okay, well, are you the composer now or something? Like, I don't see how this is relevant. Like, if you're just like, I like it because I think it sounds good like this, then it's like, then why are you playing this, right? You might as well just write your own music then, right? Then why are you playing this if you are just not even going to attempt to play it or understand how the composer might have liked to play it, right? So that's how I feel. Lewis, is it weird that you play the saxophone but you love my content? No, it is not weird. Lewis, you are in great company. There are many of us here that do not actually play the flute. You're in really great company, truly. And I'm always very flattered that people of other instruments enjoy my content here. So I'm glad that you guys do. But Andrew, that was my very vague, but as truthful as I can be, sort of answer to your question. Hey, Katrine. Hey, Jane. So, yeah, so I hope, was that insightful at the very least? Like, I feel like you need to do your homework. Hey, Lee, you don't seem to be able to join the Discord server. Oh, no. Wow, thank you for donating 10 Hong Kong dollars. Thank you. I'm not sure what to do there, man. So have you looked up tutorials on because I know that Patreon has an article on how to join a patron-only Discord. So you might need to look into that. So yeah. I did try Sankyo a while back. Okay, I believe you. My memory of trying a Sankyo was in a flute festival. That was my memory of trying a Sankyo, and it was really gorgeous. It was really beautiful. Oh, I tried the Sankyo 201 with all the different cuts. I did? Well, we should look back at it, shall we? Okay, you guys want the Sankyo. Okay, I can request it. Yeah, I'll definitely request it. So what are my thoughts on sticking a Dizi mouthpiece onto a flute? I've never done that before. I didn't even know that you could do that. I would say that it would probably do something really funky to the tuning. I mean, like, unless you want that to happen, then that's cool. But that's pretty funky, man. Have you made a video of it? Because that's really cool. You should share that with the world. Ariana, losing 37 pounds has given you better airstream control. Oh my goodness. I wonder what's the science behind that. There must be something, happening behind the scenes to cause that to happen. That's so interesting. Andrew, you're saying be ready for your prepared debates. I love it. See, here's what I think. I think that like it's a really hot debate, right? About like what constitutes a good interpretation, right? In the end, how much of it matters, I don't know, because there are some people out there who have done wacky interpretations. Think Glenn Gould, for example, right? Glenn Gould went wacko with his interpretations of Bach, and yet he became very, very well known for it. He was really into it, and like he's very he's just, his whole life was like that kind of crazy type of interpretation, right? Like he was known for that. So like it's so I think Glenn Gould was the first person that really made me consider like the validity of wacky interpretations, right? I think that's why for me it's like if you can back up why you're doing what you're doing, like have a really solid reason why, then I could go along with it. I could go along with it, like if you can really back it up. But if you can't back it up, then I'll be like, well, honey, why? Right? So yeah, it's a fun debate though. It's a really fun debate to have, because like I would say that I'm one of those weirdos that kind of can see it both ways. Like I like the purist way, but I also like really wacky interpretations too. I'm kind of weird and like appreciative of both, so it's interesting. Yeah. Oh, you guys are wondering about my lip plate here. Yeah, it's Mopani wood. I keep wanting to say Mopane though. My brain just read it that way, the first time I saw it. So let's see. I think so. I am a knuckle is saying that you think that to have a good interpretation of a piece, you need to study the composer's life. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, right? It's like you need to know like where in their life they were when they wrote it. Like that's really important to know. So it's so interesting. So Judith, you're saying that about losing the 37 pounds, increasing your control of your airstream might be because of exercise increasing your lung capacity. That's so true. That's really true. I could see that. Yeah. Also, Jane is saying it's easier to use your lungs when not surrounded by extra weight. That is true too. Like that extra sort of like compression, right? You're basically working against compression. That's really interesting. Oh no, Melanie, I'm so sorry to hear. Mo honey, mo pain. Give me more pain. Do I have any tips for the Piccolo? Jade is asking. Let's see. A lot of Piccolo tip videos are not helping you, and you don't know why. Man, I wish you didn't say that because I was just about to ask you what about those Piccolo tips did not help you. Because who knows, I might end up giving you the same tips. Because it could be that when you're watching or reading sort of Piccolo tips and stuff like that, you're sort of seeing like a kind of very generalized like, generally on the Piccolo, you should do this, right? But then maybe your issue is maybe it's specific to you, right? So maybe that's why you're not finding some tips to be helpful, right? Because they're so generalized that like it's not actually helping you. So, here, I'll give you the general tips. How about that? Okay? No promises as to whether or not this is actually going to help you. But I just saw Steven asked, do I know Ubayashi's flute sonata? No, and now I want to look this up. So give me a second to look this up, and then I will answer the Piccolo thing. Ooh, cool. Very cool. Thank you for the heads up about that. All right, let me come back to the live streaming. Cool. Okay, so Piccolo tips. So generally speaking, you are working with a much smaller instrument, also much smaller lip hole, which means that your airstream needs to be that much more concentrated, okay? So your airstream, like what you want to do is test on your flute first how wide your airstream is. Now on the Piccolo, you essentially have to cut that down by at least a half, like the width of your airstream has to be narrowed down by at least a half, okay? Now you have to kind of test the air pressure to make sure that you are hitting the correct pitches that you want on the Piccolo, right? So if you're constantly cracking low, it means that your air pressure is too low, right? So you need to increase the air pressure and keep it consistent, but within that tiny little width, right? So weirdly, you kind of feel like playing on the Piccolo does not actually take that much more air, but the way that you're using the air is very different because the air stream is tiny, but the air pressure is high. Okay, so you kind of have to balance those two things. When you're playing something and it's not coming out, you don't just want to put more air in, right? You want to go to your hand and check if when you're putting more air in, are you accidentally spreading that that airstream, right? So you need to make sure that you keep that airstream super concentrated and you're only increasing air pressure, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind is that as you are increasing the air pressure, I was saying this earlier with the Sankyo, my guesstimation of the Sankyo, that when you play at a higher air speed, it's easier to maintain the shape of the airstream if you start from further back in the mouth, right? So if you're blowing from further back in the mouth, it's easier to control the shape, right? So I think this is why I have personally had a lot of problems with piccolo playing in the past, is because I'm not really a back player. I'm more of a front player. So like I found myself kind of feeling like I was choking on my air because I had to blow from so far back in my mouth. So, so it kind of depends on the piccolo though. So you kind of have to like test it on the piccolo. If you can hear that the sound is too spread, it could be that you're pushing from too far forward. So you have to start blowing the air from starting from further back. And if you do it on your hand, you can feel what I'm feeling, right? So if you pick a specific air pressure, just blow there, and then you start blowing from further and further back, you'll notice that like if it's a high air pressure, it's easier to maintain the shape. If it's a low air pressure, you'll kind of feel it, either the air pressure is dropping and flickering, or it's just moving all over your hand. You can't control where you're blowing, right? So whereas if you are playing with very low air pressure, it's easier to start from the front of the mouth, like to play from the front of the mouth in order to, again, keep that, the shape, right? Because if you're, yeah, exactly. So like if you're blowing like more from the front of your mouth, it's easier to keep the shape, any sort of shape that your piccolo or your flute demands, right? And then but then if you're blowing really hard, right, got to make sure you're not blowing from too far forward. Otherwise it's just going to spread everywhere and there's going to be no focus at all to your airstream. So that would be my big general tips for the piccolo. I hope that was helpful. Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, Cameron. Yeah, so Cameron's finding the same thing. It's easier to play on the piccolo if you play further back in the mouth. Why? Is because you're playing with such a high air pressure, right? So it's easier to control the shape of your airstream and keep your airstream focused if you blow from further back in the mouth. You can feel it on your hand. It's easier to control. That's why you have to do it from further back. How do I think about getting the Miramatsu Platinum head joint for a Sankyo 201? It's a chunky boy. Like the plat clad, right? Do you mean platinum or like solid platinum head joint or like plat clad head joint? You have to try it for yourself, man. I have noticed that platinum flutes, like the at least two platinums that I've tried, because I tried a Haynes platinum and then I tried a Miramatsu plat clad. The Miramatsu plat clad, I felt it like both of the platinums, the airstream rides quite a bit higher than I'm used to. So like if you like your airstream riding a little bit on the higher edge, like higher part of your mouth, you might like it. The Miramatsu in particular, I was very surprised to feel, because on Monday I did a practice session on both platinums over on Twitch, and I'll release it here sometime later. I still have to edit it, stuff like that, just like lightly edit it. I found that the Miramatsu is extremely free blowing, like to the point where I felt like I was just constantly like, because I'm not asthmatic, and so I felt like I had to hold back the amount of air that I put in there, which doing that for half an hour made me feel like I was sort of like constantly running out of air. Like it made me feel like I was really out of breath all the time because I was constantly holding in my breath. So that's really interesting. If you guys want a really like, free blowing flute, if you are asthmatic, you might enjoy how free blowing Miramatsu is, like if you're looking for a higher end flute. So yeah. Donovan, hello, welcome. You're wondering if there's anything in particular that I think one should be mindful of with respect to teaching online versus in person. And you used my code for Flute Center New York. Thank you so much, Donovan. I do appreciate it. It really helps me out a lot. So thank you. Okay, now, the difference between teaching in person versus teaching online. So, okay, let's give you guys a bit of a background for me. Every now and then, I will receive a request from someone asking me for in-person lessons, like regular in-person lessons. I have actually decided to stop offering that. Why? Is because I've been teaching online for 6 years now. My teaching style is now online teaching. Now, what does online teaching constitute? It is, first off, on the part of the teacher. You essentially have to teach your student how to teach themselves. That is actually how online lessons work, right? So I am constantly thinking about how I'm teaching myself, and I am imparting that knowledge of how I teach myself to my students, right? I'm learning how they teach themselves effectively. I'm learning how different people teach themselves effectively. And then I am trying to help my students figure out which way works best for them. Okay, so a lot of online teaching is actually you teaching them how to teach themselves. Oh, Lee, thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm your motivation to practice? Oh, thank you, Lee. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. When you're teaching in person though, it's a lot easier to just kind of like tweak them, right? You could just move their flute. You can move their arm. You can move, etc. You can actually just straight up move them. Whereas when you're teaching online, you have to get them into the point where they have that self-awareness of what's going on with their body, right? So for example, instead of being able to tweak where their arm is and stuff like that, I have them stand against a wall, right? So I'll make them stand against the wall so they can feel it for themselves if they're bringing their arm too far back, right? Because you can feel it because you hit the wall, right? So that's kind of it. That's an example of how I have to find ways of getting my students to teach themselves what's going on with their bodies, right? So different people, different teachers have essentially different teaching personalities. And so certain personalities will find it easier to teach online, that's me, versus other people will find it easier to teach with their teaching personality in person, right? Some people are just more effective in person, whereas other people are more effective online. I definitely feel that I've gotten to the point now where I've done this for so long that I'm pretty much probably the most effective online. Yeah. Hey, David. Not sorry for being late. I like it, David. How are you doing, man? Yeah. All right, Melanie, no worries. Have a great time teaching. What are my thoughts on the Reineke? You think it's so Disney and in an amazing way. So I think I've only listened to the Reineke like once or twice. So that is definitely on my list of pieces to learn. Kind of like how the E-Bear was on my list to learn for a long time. And then finally now I'm doing it. So I was thinking that the Reineke might be one of my future projects. So I don't have any like solid thoughts about the Reineke. I do apologize. I know you probably wanted my thoughts on it, but you know. Do I play or listen to any pre-Baroque music? So you're talking about Renaissance, right? Renaissance music, medieval music. I love listening to it, but the only recordings I have are the recordings that were included in the music history CDs that we got when CDs, that's how old I am, okay? Compact discs, okay? So like the only like pre-Baroque music that I own is music that was included in the music history CDs textbook from when I was in university. So yeah, but I love it. I love that stuff. I like that sound. It's like I like that archaic sound, you know? And I get very excited when I can hear modern composers use it. So they're like use that sound. So I haven't actually played the games, but I believe they're called the Artonalico games. Some very wacky music, but it is so good, and you can hear what the composer is doing. They're basically taking a very archaic pre-Baroque sound, right? And they're kind of mixing it with with other like modern techniques, and so it sounds very eerie and unearthly and unnatural in a way, but in a very haunting way, which it's so fun to hear pre-Baroque influences on, like, for example, when composers write for video games and they're writing for a very specific sound or a very specific kind of setting, right? Kind of like a fantasy setting or something, right? You know, the use of like pre-Baroque music, like medieval music, Renaissance music, is pretty strong in kind of creating that kind of fantasy sort of sound, like almost a kind of archaic fantasy sound, you know? Oh, Jade, I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for dropping by and asking your question. Yeah. You created mouth diagrams for every solfege note in every octave last night? Oh my goodness. That's crazy, David. Hey, soaring birdie. You missed me. Aw, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. How are you doing? One of my favorite etudes for everyday practice. Now, I don't practice etudes every day, just being really honest here. I'm currently on projects, so I'm learning and memorizing the Iber, which, if you guys are not sick of me by the end of this stream, you can go join me on Twitch, and I'll be practicing the Iber there. So, but in terms of like really fun etudes, because I'm guessing you're asking me what etudes I like. I don't think this will come as a surprise, okay? But I really like the Cargaillard caprices. They're what I like to call funky Baroque. So the dude lived end of the 1800s into the beginning of the 1900s. He, I think it's like 1877 to 1933, something like that. And it sounds like he really liked kind of Baroque music, but he like puts this like really weird modern funk to it. And it's so weird. Like it sounds like kind of like art, like weirdly, like as if Baroque, you know, got super stoned or something, you know, like that's kind of how it sounds, and I love it. It's so funky. I love playing weird music. So is it nice to listen to? I don't know actually if it's nice to listen to it, but it's fun for me to play. The other etudes that I really liked, they make no musical sense whatsoever, but I believe that the liqueur etudes, I studied a few with my master's level professor. My master's professor, not master's level, the professor was very high level, far beyond master's level, but yeah, I think it's the liqueur. So these ones they're the 22 Doda Caprices, and they don't really make a lot of musical sense. You know, like it's not, it doesn't sound nice. Okay, but they're really fun. They're really fun. Like I like the weird stuff, you know. But I get it. I get that. Oh, I think I did some Donjon too. Jean I think is a little nicer, but also kind of weird. So, okay, Elle. I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, H-I-J-K. I swear I know my alphabet. Okay, there. Now it's in alphabetical order. Okay, but yeah. So, I might not be the best person to ask what etudes I like, because chances are most of you guys won't like them either. Okay? I recognize how weird I am, so, you know. Any thoughts on the Mercadante Concerto in E minor? Well, I sight read some of it at the request of my friend Paul, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's quite a bit more like complex than I anticipated it to be, and I don't know, I really like it. It's kind of weirdly dark, lots of color. Yeah. You're thinking of playing the Rondo Russo, the third movement, in your auditions. You totally should. So you're auditioning in Austria, Denmark, and Norway. Oh, that's fantastic. I've always wanted to visit Europe, just in general, because I've never been, and it's such a center for, like, the whole area is just kind of the center of Western classical music. And, you know, because I've made my whole career in this, so I would really love to visit one day, but just haven't had the opportunity to. And right now the world is closed, so, you know, kind of sucks right now. Does the $1 tier give access to the Discord server? Unfortunately not, Ariana. It's the $5 tier. the $5 tier gives access. Yeah. The Donjon Etudes de Salon. Yes, those ones are really fun. I have a few students studying those due to Etude of the Week. You know, that flute forum group or whatever. There's that flute Facebook group that does Etude of the Week. And they were doing the Donjons maybe a month ago, a couple weeks ago, something like that. Yeah. So, Rylan, looks like you wanted to check out the composer I was talking about, Mercadante. Is that the one? Yeah. Car Gaylord. Car Gaylord. Someone else answered you. Yeah, Car Gaylord. It is on public domain on IMSLP. So go check it out. Car Gaylord Caprices. Opus 107, I believe it is. Nugget is life. That's a cute username. Hello, how are you doing? Hum while playing, David. So that is actually an extended technique that you can do on the flute, like legit. That is an extended technique, and it's a great way to kind of like help loosen everything up here, is to actually sing while playing. It's pretty interesting. It makes you kind of like more aware of all the things that can be open around here. It's super fun. I can maybe do it for you guys soon. Maybe after I go rinse out my mouth and stuff. Yeah. Have I ever seen a saxophone in a professional orchestra? Absolutely. Yes. And it is stunning. Okay. Classical saxophone is in a league of its own. Okay. It's stunning. All right. Now just them playing classical saxophone is always at such an amazingly high level of playing. I'm always absolutely like stunned by how well these people play. Just beautiful, gorgeous sound. I wish that more classical music had saxophone in it, obviously, because the saxophone itself is a very young instrument, which is why there's not a lot of orchestral music for saxophone. Now, I had the pleasure of seeing a professional saxophonist, classical saxophonist, who brought a gorgeous, gorgeous saxophone that was, I think it was like enameled with like in black, but then it like had engravings in it to kind of reveal the brass underneath. And it was just like florally designs all around. And it was just like the most gorgeous saxophone I'd ever seen in my life. It was a work of art. It was amazing. Plus that person played amazingly. Alonzo, you like the Altez Etudes? Is that the one you're choosing? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, and Flute Tunes is good too. Flute Tunes has like a lot of Garibaldi, the curler, the my brain is short-circuiting right now. There's another one that is on there. But yeah. Yay, Amir, you uploaded your CPE box to your YouTube channel. Awesome. Let me open that up. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. So. Come on. Perfect. I have your channel open. I'll watch it later, maybe between streams or something. How long have I had my brand in? Since I was 19. So 11 and a half years. So, or according to famousbirthdays.com. Apparently I just turned, what, 27? Did I just turn 27 or 28? I don't remember. What did they say? They said that I was born in 1993. So I guess 27. Yeah. So, you know, according to famous birthdays, that was 8 years ago. But it was 11 years. You know, borrowed money for it. So, and I'm making the last payment on that the end of this year. So, originally I wasn't going to get this new head joint until next year because I wanted to pay off the last payment before I, you know, started shopping for a new head joint. And also I was just wanting to save up more and more and more first, just to be like super, super comfortable. But then this guy showed up and I had the money saved up. So I went for it. But yeah. Yeah. You like the Moïse 480 exercises? Yes, that's a really good one. I've been telling my students to get that book. I really like the way that it's very bite-sized. It's very clear what you're doing, how many of them you're doing, and how long you're doing them for. I feel like Moïse really understood the concept of just doing a little bit every day to help you out. And Moïse is like, if you read how, like, in like, for example, De La Sonorite and stuff like that, like when you read how he basically is talking to the student about how to practice and stuff like that, he's so sweet. He always is so concerned about students over fatiguing themselves. Like, he's always like, please don't do this too much because it's very fatiguing, blah, 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 blah. He's always saying that. How sweet is that, right? For someone to be like, hey, by the way, this is, you know, this could burn you out, so please only do a little bit at a time. How sweet, right? Do I know any music from Demo? Well, my husband is a big Demo fan, and so he kind of started to get me into it when we first met. And then, but the thing is, I'm really terrible at rhythm games. But we have the soundtrack, and well, when the world was open and we would go up to Vancouver to visit our parents, you know, he would put it on in the car, and we would just listen to demo music. It's great driving music, man. Oh, it's so gorgeous. So, yeah, that I agree. There's some real beautiful music in there. Really, really pretty. Quint.c on Instagram. Great saxophone player with black and gold sax. Oh, fantastic. Probably has like the type of saxophone that I was talking about. Thor, you got the Trevor White book 1 to 6. This one, right? Right? Yeah? Oh, it makes me so happy that you guys, you know, like use that book and are, you know, getting like so much out of it. That's fantastic. Did I ever play with the bel canto flutes when I was at SF State? No, I didn't. I think I heard of them, but then I ended up being way too busy. For those of you guys who don't know, I was only at San Francisco State officially for 3 semesters. I was there for an extra unofficial semester where I was just receiving lessons. But in terms of my actual studying there for my degree, I was only there for 3 semesters. So it was like really quick in and out. Like it was an insanely fast degree to get. Ozan, hello, all the way in Italy. That's fantastic. I hope you're having a lovely evening. I believe it is evening for you, right? Yeah, right, Amir? I feel like Moïse is just, he's so kind. Like, if you, like, read what he says to do, he's so conscious about how the student feels. Super sweet. Yeah, Atsusuno, you're also saying that he sounds super sweet, right? My gosh, you guys have to get that book, man. De la Sonorité. That guy is just so sweet about how he wants you to practice his stuff, right? He gives you a very clear idea of like exactly how many times do you repeat something. Don't do it more than 3 times. You know, make sure you're going at 60 beats per minute, you know, and like, sure, the way that he's writing it is kind of like it seems almost very formal English to us now, but like you have to keep in mind it was written a pretty long time ago, you know, so like the type of like formal English that you would use in writing, right, is very different than now, right? So hey Ian, I'm so glad that you're here. This really makes me quite happy that you guys are also so happy to catch these streams. Awesome, Ariana, thank you for supporting over on Patreon for the $5 tier. Thank you so much. So I do have a patron only live stream as well, twice a month, and in those streams I share more of my personal life with you guys, so I'm a little bit more open there than here, because here is pretty public. So, you know, I like to share my more personal things over on Patreon. So you get that to look forward to as well, on top of the Discord server. Oh, David, my timekeeper, thank you so much. Sounds good. Let me answer one more question, and then I will go scoop up the rest of this foam, rinse out my mouth and come back, okay? So Katrine is asking if I have a favorite flutist. I would say that I'm a very big Jasmine Choi fangirl. Granted, because I am so incredibly busy, I can't keep up with her things as much as I would like to, but she's definitely one that I really look up to. She's really sweet, really down to earth, but is an absolute goddess at this instrument. Like, I don't understand. You know, she's like, god tier flutist. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would say about Jasmine Choi. Man, she's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Seltzer, this stream seems so calm. I'm glad. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be a calm place, calm, happy, relaxing place, both for me and for you guys. You know. Is it good to get to know me better, Ariana? You've appreciated this? Thank you, Ariana. I mean, like, here's the thing, guys. I really want you guys to know that I am a completely normal human being. I have not had the most perfect kind of like background in music and in flute playing. Definitely there are things that, you know, I lacked personally, right? And so I'm making up for a lot of that stuff later in life right now. So for example, like learning the E-bar and stuff like that, and like filling holes in my repertoire, filling holes in my knowledge of music history and blah, blah, blah. Like, I think I want to like let you guys know that you're always going to be learning, and it's totally okay to have gaps in your knowledge as long as you're open to learning, right? And open to admitting that you don't know everything, right? Like, I think it's really important to just kind of say that out loud, you know, that it's okay to not know everything as long as you want to learn it, right? So, you know, oh, check my Patreon messages. Thank you, Magic One Kiji. I've had that in the back of my mind for the last couple of days, but I've been incredibly busy. Like, I've been teaching, like, you know, 6 hours, 6 different lessons, plus streaming and all of that, for the last couple of days. So it's been pretty insane for me. This is actually, like, the calmest part of my day today, which is quite nice. So... Oriana, you think I'm a god tier flutist? I mean, thank you, but I certainly don't think that of myself. Yeah. Emmanuel Pahud and Jasmine Choi are your faves. Jane, I'm seeing Emmanuel Pahud. I'm seeing Sir James Galway. So my first CD was a James Galway CD. And in particular, it's the one that starts with him playing, like, the first track is the Mozart Concerto in C major for flute and harp. So that's one that I know by heart. I know that one by heart because I listened to it like every day when I was 8 years old. My brother bought that CD for me. He's only 3 years older than me. He convinced my parents to buy, you know, the CD. He was only, what, 11 at the time? 11 or 12? And he, so in my mind, he bought that CD for me. Gotta love my brother, man. Yeah. All right, guys. All right. How am I finding the online teaching? You feel like you've been run over by a truck after just a few hours, Ian. So I did address that, the whole online teaching versus in-person teaching earlier in the stream. So I know that you joined later, so you might find it interesting to roll it back a little bit and see what I said. But suffice it to say, I've actually been teaching online for 6 years now. So this has actually been my normal life way before the pandemic. So I love it. However, okay, because of the nature of online lessons, basically starting from right when you see the person right up until you hang up, there's like no even time to like clean up or anything like that, the way that you normally would do in an in-person lesson. I always schedule a 10 to 15 minute break in between students. So there's always a 10 to 15 minute break. Now, what that allows you to do is you can go over by about 5 minutes, and that's fine. And you still have 5 to 10 minutes to shut your brain off a little bit before you see the next student. That's really important. The other thing is that you can go to the bathroom, okay, between students. You have that 15 minutes to do your business, okay? You can get some more water, etc. And part of it is that you have to just kind of get up and go somewhere else for a few minutes and come back, and it really helps you feel refreshed. So with regards to your question about how I'm feeling online teaching, you really have to be quite iron-fisted about keeping your breaks in between students. So that's how I survive physically, right? Because you're mentioning that you feel like you've been run over by a truck. So I'm guessing you feel physically very tired from it. So make sure scheduling those breaks, make sure you're getting up to go get water, okay? Go to the bathroom, do your business, right? Freshen up. Sometimes I wash my face, and it just kind of helps reset you. The other thing I will do is maybe I'll have a podcast going on. So I'll listen or watch a podcast like in little chunks in between students. So I kind of feel like I have a little bit of me time. Okay. So that's really important. So currently I do have a podcast, not really a podcast, but it's actually a live stream open that I was watching a little bit of earlier today. So if you guys are wondering what I'm looking at, it has nothing to do with music or the flute or anything. This particular one is, have you guys heard of Bernadette Banner? She is a historical dress or seamstress on YouTube. Very sassy, fantastic lady, and very well spoken, researches the hell out of everything, and is amazing. I have sort of a side interest in sewing, so that's kind of why I love following her stuff. So she has a live streamed class with another person who is very well known in the dressmaking world. And so I have that open right now. So that kind of helps me sort of retain a bit of myself in between teaching students. So I hope that helps you out, Ian. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I need to step outside to spoon this into my mouth. Well, it looks like I could probably get it into my mouth now, finally. But I need to rinse out my mouth so I don't have coffee bits floating around everywhere while I'm playing the flute, okay? So I'll be back. Should be fairly quick, but maybe give me 3 to 5 minutes, okay? I'll be right back, guys. Just totally, clean now. Oh, Katrine. I'm just reading what you wrote here. You're taught by Ula Millman once? You died? Oh, you were fangirling the whole time. Oh. How lovely. All right, you guys. So I should do some sight reading. Yes. Let's see how much I get through. I have a little less than an hour to do this. So let's see. All right. Okay, so we're looking on my Google Drive so I can get these responses. There's probably so many now. Okay. What do we have going on? So we have looks like we've got quite a few repeats, so this is good, which means that I can get through more of these. I know that last time I did Rite of Spring, so Confused Flower Beetle, such a cute username, is requesting Don Daphne Dover Schon Mike. I probably said that incredibly incorrectly, but let's see if this is composed by Jacob von Eyck. So we will see if this shows up. I'm just copying. Page not found. I am so sorry, Confused Flower Beetle. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. Okay, someone wants Flight of the Bumblebee. Armand wants Flight of the Bumblebee. Okay, fine. I've sight read it before, but I'll do it for you real quick. Yeah, okay, let's do it. So, copy. Okay, so, all right, guys, I'm gonna copy this out for you guys so that you guys can follow along. Okay, so today's request is Flight of the Bumblebee, which you can find. The version that I'm looking at is from Flute Tunes, and this is by, let's see, okay, so request by Armand wanting Flight of the Bumblebee. I apparently cannot spell Bumblebee. Okay. All right, so let me get this on the screen as well. Name of piece. So we're looking at this. There we go. All right, guys. So let me just get this saved, and then you guys can refresh the page. So go ahead and refresh the page, guys, if you wanted to follow along. All right, it's in the description. So let's do this. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're gonna call that pretty good. Just like a quick warm up. All right. I'm lowering the gain a little bit on here just so I don't blow it out as much. So here we go. Oh gosh. the mistakes, guys. But we're just going to blow through this. There was like a courtesy accidental that I could put in, but oh well. Okay. Oh, there's no F natural at the very end. There we go. You guys are like slowly making me actually know this piece now. Just by requesting it so much. So I totally butchered a bit of that, but I don't actually really care. Whatever. You guys know I'm sight reading, so it's okay. Okay, I did it. Katrine, are you a two-set violin fan? If you can play it slowly. Yeah, you guys are mentioning two-set in here. They're really funny, aren't they? Hey, Kenneth. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Flight of the Bumblebee is quite overplayed. Yeah, I do agree. It is. But it's actually one of those pieces that I actually haven't studied on my own. So what you guys are hearing is sort of like a third or fourth sight reading of it. Yeah. Okay, so we did that one. So now someone is asking for the Animal Crossing New Horizons theme. Oh yeah. So okay, so I'm gonna have to figure this out by ear. Melanie is asking for this one. I think she's teaching someone right now, so I'll let her know to come back to this one. So, okay, I'm gonna have to give this a listen, guys. And due to copyright stuff, I'm gonna have to do it via earphones, and unfortunately, you guys won't really hear me do it. So I need to figure out, because I don't actually know what note it is and what like what note, what key. Not actually sure, so I have to kind of give it a listen. So okay, so we'll give this a go. And da 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 da. That's probably what it is, right? So Melanie is asking for this. So give me a second to change out our what we have here, and then copy, paste. Okay, and then I will also put this in the info box here. I think I'm like humming a different part than the melody. Okay. So let's see what I make of this. Okay. Bubblegum pop. This is not the Animal Crossing New Horizons theme though. Is there This is Bubblegum pop. Dud. We're gonna have to change this. We're gonna have to change this. This is not the Animal Crossing New Horizons theme. This is Bubblegum pop. Do you hear the bubblegum pop? So Animal Crossing we're changing this to Bubblegum from Animal Crossing by KK Slider. All right, let me change this. John is going to hear this upstairs and be like, why are you playing Bubblegum? Okay. It's actually more of a slide, okay? That's actually what happens. Okay, I gotta move the music along. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's move this down. Okay. So cute. Let's see. And then it repeats da 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 dun dun. I wonder if I could do a really do the slide. And it just keeps going. It's one of those songs that just kind of loops forever. It's so cute. I love it. Hey, Stanley. Hello. You guys love Animal Crossing too, right? I actually kind of want to try out the theme song actually. So this is my own request now. So I'm just gonna put here. So I need to look this up. So Animal Crossing New Horizons theme. I'm gonna have to feel this out, guys. Okay. I don't know what those chords are. I believe this is played with a flugelhorn, if I'm correct. That's it. Dun, 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 dun. I think that's it. All right, key change. A major? Does it really go from F major to A major? Dun, dun. All right. So now I'm doing it on my own. Let's try this. This is what happens when your ear is really bad and you're trying to figure stuff out. It's really bad in the beginning, but whatever. There. Whoops. Goes up to D. I need to practice this a few times. Okay. Da 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 ba da da dee da da da. Right? Guitar, or ukulele, that is. Something like that. It goes longer, doesn't it? Because it kind of like, let's see. And then it just repeats over and over. Close enough, right? This is just me having some fun anyway. Oh, I love this. Claire, did you end up requesting the theme song that I'm doing right now? Oh, I love it. Now I know how to play it. Yay! Let me do it again. I mean, look. That's why I'm so happy I know how to play it. Ah, gosh. Oh gosh. Da 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 da. I feel like if I wrote this down, I wouldn't make so many mistakes because I'm like still somewhat doing it by ear. Doing my own backups. Okay. Mess up right there. One more time. I want to try and get that middle part correct now. Okay. Damn it. Okay. Da 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 dee, be da da dee, be da da dee, dee. Okay, fine. I'm done. It's really fun. It's so cute. I really like that one. Okay. Well, we have time for another one. So that was just me. But I'll link that one for you guys. In fact, you guys should see the official Nintendo performance that they put on, like social distancing performance that they put on. So let me copy that one for you guys, because that one is so fun to watch. So so we'll put here that this one is not a request, lol, but it is the Animal Crossing New Horizons theme song. Theme, we'll just put theme. And then there's the YouTube link for you guys. So there you go. Okay, let's do another one. So Santiago is asking for the prologue for Swan Lake, arrangement for flute and piano. Okay, so you gave me a Google Drive thing, and I'm gonna see if this link works. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do another one. It does work. Excellent. Thank you very much for sending me the link. So this is there just the flute part? There is. Flauta. Oh, it looks cute. Okay. So looks like we're going at approximately quarter note equals 80. Okay, so let me copy this out for you guys. So this is Prologue to Swan Lake. Prologue to Swan Lake, arranged for flute and piano. Oh my gosh! You made this arrangement. Thank you so much. So I'm just gonna make sure that this link works for people. Yeah, it does. Sweet. Okay, so this is by Santiago. Thank you, Santiago. Request by Santiago. Lovely. Okay, let's try this, guys. So this is at quarter note equals 80. Okay. I like that you put in here like what's happening in the ballet. Thank you for doing that. That's so nice. Because that kind of helps with the expression, I'm guessing, right? So here you go. Oh, whoops, I did not put it yet on the screen. Let me put it on the screen. Okay, so this is, yeah, if you guys refresh the page, you'll see it linked below. Okay. Whoops, that did not work. There, that works. Okay. Oh, the backup dance was just about the same as the Merchants in Charles Savannah? Oh, you mean them going like this, right? That's my impression of the Merchants in Charles Savannah. This This is not a PTSD live stream. I know, right? Finally. Finally. David, you just got notified that you got state honors for CM. Congratulations, David. Amazing. Fantastic. All right, guys. Got everything in order, so let's give this a go. Oh, sorry, no. I did the opposite of what I needed to do. faster. Oh, 1,000, 2,000. I think I want to maybe kind of foghorn that low note a little bit more. Probably shouldn't crack that last note. sad. It's really nice though. Also, I didn't notice the accents until like a little bit too late. So I only did the last accent at 57. Let me do the last bit, like a little part of the last bit. So. So sad. So sad. Many tears. Yeah. Santiago did an amazing link to music below. Yeah, Santiago, wow, you did an amazing arrangement. That's so pretty. Wow. Really good for teaching. Like, I'm just thinking of it from a teacher's perspective because I can't really turn off that part of my brain, guys. I'm just thinking like, wow, this would be such a great arrangement to kind of teach expression on the flute, you know? So I'm so glad you shared that with us. Thank you, Santiago. I know, right? Just heartbreaking. So good. Tone, the colors, the textures. It's got it all. Like this arrangement has it all. I think it's so good for, you know, for figuring out expression. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely fantastic. Also, I think it's getting a little bit humid, so need to swab out my flute a little. Also, I'm hearing like sticky keys, so I do want to deal with that. So, okay. I am curious to see what the next bit is because we still have some time, guys. We're actually getting through quite a few pieces today. Wow. And now someone wants me to do a Donjon Etude. Okay. Fine. Oh, they wanted me to do number 3. Okay, fine. I might go ahead and look up the IMSLP version of this, just because I think that's the version that like my students have been looking at. So I'm a little bit more familiar with that version. Sorry guys, I'm like concentrating on like which keys need a little bit of. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's put this away. Yeah, we can leave this here. Okay. Let me look this up. Oh no. Sorry guys. My browser crashed. Whoopsies. Okay, so we're looking at Donjon, Etudes, Flute, IMSLP. Etudes de Salon. I feel like I talked about this at the beginning of the stream, didn't I? This is what I get. This is what I get, guys. Karma just comes and bites me in the butt for talking about it. So you want me to do number 3? Okay. Okay, I kind of like the version on IMSLP a little bit more, so I'm actually going to link that one. I hope you don't mind. So, so this is a Donjon Etude. Okay. All right, let's see. So, Donjon. To the by Donjon. Okay, and this is requested by Elle. So, all right, guys. Okay, and then I need to do this over on the name of the piece. Okay, great. So that's happening. Number 3. We are plowing through today, aren't we? You sent in a piece earlier, Julian. I probably haven't gotten to it yet. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I am straight up sight reading, all right? Okay. It really does E flat, E flat, C, E flat. Okay. That to me, I was like, what? Okay. I want to do the last line again. That is particularly interesting to me. So cute. Was that fast enough? I think. So cute and yet unsettling. That's a great way of putting it. Very cute. It looks much harder than it really is. It's actually not that hard because they're all D flats, so you don't have to go like this, like more like this. You don't have to go like this. You just it's just up like this. At least it's not crossed like that. Okay. Yeah. Yo. This is really cute. Wow. And I'm done. Well, we have 3 minutes left. Someone wants me to do, Flobo wants me to do the Moldau. Let me investigate this, but I probably don't have time to do it today. So give me a second. I'm just gonna wait for my download. Good old IMSLP, right? Klein Flot. So it's flute 1. Looks like there's no specification for which flute part to play. Yeah, definitely don't have time to do this, but it does start with a second flute solo. We could do a tiny bit of it. I'm also figuring out like which trill fingerings and which cheats do you do. There we go. There we go. Okay. There it is. There it is. Well, we're out of time, guys. So that doesn't really count as like a full thing. So we'll start with this next time, I say. So we're going to do the Moldau flute parts. Maybe I'll pick and choose something that works there. Okay, lovely. We had quite the productive time today, guys. Zarg, don't give, you're telling people not to give me tricky stuff to sight read because it interrupts your background. I mean, the last couple live streams, like in terms of like just playing random fun stuff, was like turned into practice sessions. They turned into these like really intense practice sessions. So I'm so glad today was a lot more like relaxed. So, Verd, hello, how are you doing? Welcome back from band. How was band? Yeah, this is the flute duet that sounds like one flute is playing. Yeah. I have played this before, but I did not play the first and second part. I played the Piccolo part. So that's why I wasn't really familiar with it. So I saw the like second flute part and I was like, ooh, I want to try this a little bit before I go. So anyway, I love you guys so very, very much. And I just wanted to say thank you for being so respectful and kind in the chat. I really feel like you guys can really talk to each other and have a lot of fun. You know, a relaxing place here on my corner of the internet. So that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. I'm trying to give you guys a space where you guys can come and just kind of join a little relaxed classical music community. You know, basically we can all nerd out with you, you know. So I love you all so very much. Thank you for joining me today. If you are not sick of me yet, I will be on Twitch very soon. So I will let the sort of goodbye screen go on for around 5 minutes, and then I'll hop on over to Twitch. So if you guys want to see me practice a bit of the Iber third movement, I will be on twitch.tv/justanotherflautist. Okay, FLAUTIST. Okay, so yeah, you guys all stay happy, healthy, and safe. All right, maybe I'll see you guys very soon, or at the very least I'll see you guys next week, same time right here, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time on this channel live. All right, see you guys later, maybe on Twitch.